بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد, question is, can I go to a restaurant where alcohol is also being served? I am not consuming it, but it is there. There is a bar or whatever. So can I go there? First and foremost, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam prohibited us from being in the same room where there is alcohol being served. Right? Now, alcohol is prohibited. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited it. The ayat of the Quran is very clear. Al-Khamru wal-Maisur ila al-akhir, to the end. So, consuming alcohol is prohibited. In Islam, the fundamental principle of the hurmat of anything, of prohibition of anything, is that when something is prohibited, then everything connected with it is also prohibited. So when alcohol is prohibited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu al-khamru wal-maisiru wal-ansabu wal-azlamu rijusum min amali shaitani fajtanibuhu la'allakum tuflihun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O you believe, alcohol, which is all intoxicants, wal-maisir, which is all forms of gambling, whether it is lottery tickets or whether it is horse racing or dog racing or camel racing or any kind of thing, anything, or cricket or soccer or whatnot, there's huge gambling which runs on this. All forms of gambling are prohibited. Divining arrows, all kinds of prophesying and tarot cards and horoscopes and astrology and all of this lines, palm reading, all of these are prohibited. Allah said, these are rijsum min amali shaitan. These are the filthy things from the actions of shaitan. Now imagine, shaitan does not have any good things. So when you say filthy things from the action, which means that shaitan's actions by definition are filthy. And these are filthy in those actions, meaning how filthy are these? Right? Allah said, fajtanibu, Allah said, do not even go near that. Stay away. So not even question of crossing, don't even go near that. Fajtanibu, la'allakum tuflihun, so that you may be successful. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam therefore prohibited us from even being in the same room where alcohol is being served. It is not true that they cannot avoid it in the US and Canada and so on. I live in the US. Right? We don't go to a place where there is alcohol served. There are plenty of places where alcohol is not served, which are run by Muslims, which are run by non-Muslims. Even non-Muslims. There are restaurants and so on where alcohol is not served. So find it and go. And it's not a life-saving thing. आप घर में खाना नहीं क्या? मत जाओ, घर में खाना खाओ. तो ये हमारे हैदराबाद के लोगों को घर में खाना नहीं पकता. जाए गए तो पूरे हर होटल हमारे हैदराबाद में से आबाद है. So really we should, so it is not permitted, blanket. Whether it's a corporate party, whether it's, you do not go into a room where there is alcohol being served. The question of whether the person is buying the alcohol with your money, not money, makes no difference. You do not go there, no matter how he bought it, what he's doing. As long as there is alcohol in that room, you don't go. Now you might say, well, I am going to eat in a hotel. In the restaurant itself where the food is served, there is no alcohol. Next room, next door, there is a bar. That is okay. As long as there is no alcohol being served in the room that you are eating, that's fine. Ideally, don't go to that hotel also. Go to a place where there is no alcohol. But supposing you might say, I'm for example, you say, I'm traveling, I'm staying in a 5-star hotel or whichever star hotel, and there is a bar, I know there is a bar. So what should I do? So nothing, you eat your food, you do your thing. But make sure that you don't eat or go in a place where there is alcohol being served. As long as you inshallah, we do that, that is enough. Again, as I said, ihtiyat as much as possible. Islam has got, there is flexibility in that. So as much as possible, try to follow.
Last two questions. Misuse that.
Okay, alhamdulillah, very good question. Question is, where is the line between showing off, which is israf, and just being comfortable and so on? Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed you with wealth. So I'm using my wealth, halal wealth. Obviously, we're not talking about haram. Halal wealth. I'm using that for myself. So where is the line? You know, this issue of israf is such a what shall I say? It's a serious issue because you have no witness. It is between you and Allah, right? And that is a very dangerous place to be in because you have no witness. So more and more, all the thing to do therefore is to ask yourself, your own conscience, why am I doing this? Now, taking a car for example, buying, you don't have to go from one extreme to the other extreme, but a good comfortable car, right? And something which is really a question of the brand. Because especially if you take, for example, Hyderabad, I can, buy a top of the line Mercedes, for example. Where will I drive it? Huh? Yeah, सड़कों पे चलने की जगह नहीं है. So what's the point? I'm spending crore rupees to buy that and then run it where? Right? So alhamdulillah, I have a Innova, which is a perfectly good car, very comfortable, very reliable. I'm very happy with that. So my point I'm saying is that the issue is that we have to ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Now, the hadith is the actual authentic hadith is a man came to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and he was in a very sort of disabled and dilapidated conditions. The clothes were all not good and maybe torn or something. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked somebody, this man, is he poor? Is he a fakir or something? They said, no, Ya Rasulullah, he is wealthy. He's got big gardens and whatnot. Then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to him, why do you look like this? Allah has given you, Allah has blessed you. Show Allah's blessing. Allahu Jamil wa Hubbul Jamal. Show Allah has given you blessing. Show that. Now, show that, does it mean that now the man comes wearing clothes of gold? No. So show that meaning, be well dressed, drive a good car, have a nice house. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So Allah has given you wealth, by all means. When you're traveling, travel comfortably. Nobody says travel, some third class train. Travel in. But supposing, for example, you're flying, the difference between you can fly, you have the money, you can fly business class, you can fly first class. Which should you fly? Business class. Because first class is like 8 times the amount of business class and both the dabbas arrive at the same time, right? So it makes no sense. You're paying so much money for nothing. So the point is, but at the same time, I'm not saying travel, sitting next to the toilet in the last seat of the plane. No. You travel business class, no problem, alhamdulillah, be comfortable and you arrive in a state where you are comfortable, right? Otherwise, you travel 15 hours to America in an economy flight and then they have to take you out on a stretcher because you can't move after that. So the point is that this is a line we have to draw, right? So where do I draw the line? Yes, Allah has given me. The key thing to understand is if Allah has given me wealth, look at it in the right perspective. Wealth is a resource. To do what? Wealth is literally a resource to buy Jannah. To buy Jannah. Jannah is for sale. Jannah is for sale. And if Allah has given you wealth, Jannah is for sale and it is sold for different things. So if Allah has given you wealth, your wealth is a way to buy Jannah. If Allah has given you health, your health is a way to buy Jannah. Right? Through greater ibadah, through greater effort and so on and so forth. Your health is, Allah has given you the strength. Do that. Allah has given you wealth. So how do you buy Jannah with your wealth? Help people. I tell people that there's a hospital right down here. Go to that hospital. And say, who are the poor people here who are not able to pay the bills? I will pay their bills. Pay kar do. Right? Go contact the DG prisons, Director General prisons. There are people in this country, thousands upon thousands of people, who are sitting in jail only because they don't have the money to pay the bail. That's all. They will get bail in 1 minute. Right? Some petty crimes, whatnot, they are stuck. If the bail money is there, they pay their bail. You will free those poor people. Right? Feeding, you believe me, you don't have enough money to feed people. There are so many hungry people that no matter how much money you have, it will all go. Yeah? There's World Food Organization, I think World Food Organization. They challenged Elon Musk. Elon Musk said, 2% of my wealth I can feed the whole world. Did he do it? No. ये बोल के क्या फायदा? So the point is that israf is a very, very serious thing. It is a very bad thing. Innal mubazzirina kanu ikhwana shayatin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Isra, Allah said the people who do israf, verily they are the brothers of shaitan. अब brothers of shaitan बोले तो उससे बढ़ के क्या है? What is worse than that? So ask yourself, whatever I am doing, am I doing it because of what people will say? How will it look in society? What you know, believe me, no, you can't fool yourself. You know, your heart knows. If that is there, even if there is a shadow of that, don't do it. Don't touch it. If it is not that, if you are doing something which is good for you in order to live a good life, and then you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it, alhamdulillah, there is no problem with that. The question is concerning the relationship Silatul Rahim. That is, relationships of the Rahim, breaking kinships. Can it be done? Should not it be done? So on. And especially specific question was with regard to stepbrother, stepsister. Father has 2 wives. So when the father passes away, the children of these 2, do they have a relationship, and do they? And then you asked the question. You said, does it apply only to close relationships? Now my point is, what can be a closer relationship than having the same father? Is there something which is closer? So this is the evil in our society, that we have created this whole issue of step this and step that. There are no steps in Islam. In Islam, the man has been given the right to marry 4 times, or that's not the right way to say it, to have 4 wives simultaneously. He can marry more than that. If one wife dies or he divorces, he can marry somebody else. So total number of marriages is not 4. But simultaneously, at one time, he can have 4 wives. All the children of all those wives will inherit from him. They are all his children. No child of any wife has any supersedence or any superiority over the child of another wife. First wife, second wife, third wife makes no difference. The children of all the wives are equal. They are all brothers and sisters, and that is the closest possible relationship you can have, because you have the same father. Right? I know cases where there are brothers I have seen who are so close you don't even know until somebody tells you that this one is from the first wife, this one is from the second wife. There's no difference, and there should be no difference. Right? So this whole issue of step and so on, this is all because we are using English language. And even in Urdu, Sautela Bhai, Sauteli Amma, these are all cultural things that have come in. It's like the whole of Bollywood runs on our South Asian mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship business. सास और बहू का किस्से पे पूरा बॉलीवुड चल रही. तो वैसी चीज़ सौतेली अम्मा के किस्सों पे वो भी चल रहा फिल्म बनाते हो. सौतेले बच्चों को ट्रीटमेंट अच्छा नहीं रहता. The stepchildren are treated badly. This is all completely haram, and this is not part of Islam. So number 1. Number 2, you should always be together. You must always love one another because you have the same father. Right? Also, all relationships of the Rahim, which is through the mother, all the relationships which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned. So mother and the father, both blood relationships basically, which is your uncles. Your uncle has the same level as your father. चाचा और ताया जो है आपके बाबा के लेवल के है. Khala is the substitute for the mother. Islamically, in the fiqh, the khala is the substitute for the mother. If there is an orphan girl, say a woman dies, her daughter, if she is alive, the daughter is there, who will be the caretaker? If there is a khala, if there is the mother had a sister, the sister becomes the caretaker of this girl automatically in Islam, because that is the closest relationship, right? So therefore, these relationships, so khala, then the cousins with them, yeah, of course, absolutely, bilkul. Mothers and father side both, puppu, your aunts and uncles from the father, aunts and uncles from the mother, all of these are your relationships. Now, I'll completely. So the question is, when you say be close to them, have good relationships, so on, so on, that does not mean that necessarily you must live in the same house or that you must have the same business or nothing like that. This refers only to being good to each other, social relationships, going to each other, accepting each other's invitations, dawat diye to jana, and then of course obviously helping each other if they are in need. But as far as your life is concerned, you are completely at liberty to live your own life in your own way and do your own business. And if you want to, now when I say live by yourself, I don't mean have a fight and go out. No, but if you want to have a separate house for yourself, you can have, no problem, as long as you can afford it, and as long as there is no bad blood and there is no conflict, no problem. You can live on. Nobody says you have to. Everyone must live in the same house. No, not necessarily.